Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy, so keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And how alike sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
My wife, she's missing. I fear terribly for her safety.
Some women are just looking for a reason to go missing.
She disappeared into the Ahedar Desert, the heart of the Whispering Waste.
As suicides go, it has an exotic appeal.
I fear she has returned to my former mansion. If you would track her, find her, bring her home.
You'd pay me in sad looks and liquor?
The mansion was never reclaimed by the tax collectors. Dark rumors swirl amid the whispering winds. Land leviathans maroon amid the dunes and cataclysms past. If my vault is untouched, its entire contents, the wealth of 5 noble generations, are yours.
You had your openers and closers reversed.
I should warn you, Sir Thief, or Nachtin the boards call it. The dead citadel. Worse still, the Whispering Wastes do not lie empty. Rumors swirl of a figure, stooped and shrouded in grey, face hidden, dragging a silver blade at his side, carving his way through the criminal element of 2 entire countries. None have divined its purpose, and it has only ever spoken one word, one most would not even recognize as a name.
I remember childhood without any friends. Just me and my imagination. So I made up my own friend. Crim's my best bud. I don't know what I'd do without him. But there's some things we should keep locked away. Not the imaginary friends, but the imaginary fiends. Crim, where are you?
Nosfero. Does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
What is up, all of you fine people on the interwebs? This is Shanth Enjeti Art. I am Shanth Enjeti. I hope you guys are ready for some bare-knuckle positivity, because that, my friends, is how I'm feeling today. I've been thinking about this week a lot, this whole thing. Actually, I've been thinking it since I started this YouTube channel, to be honest with you. And I want to get into that, but first, let's see who we've got here in the chat. Do we have any channel members? Do we have so many viewers watching? You know, you never know. Dang, this interface. I'm going to try to stay positive, even though this interface drives me crazy sometimes. But that's more my age than it is the fault of the interface, people. So let's see who we've got here. We have got John in the house. It is great to see you, John. How are you doing, my friend? We have got Tammy A, channel member Tammy A. It's great to see you. I got to be honest with you, Tammy A. I went to bed at, I think, 5 o'clock East Coast time, woke up at 10, so I just feel like I am spinning around this today. I'm just like, oh man, I feel it. We have got General Piggy, who I believe was first in the chat. It doesn't always do it in order for some reason in my interface. Channel member General Piggy, it is great to see you, General. We've also got my homie, Ellie Munoz. It is great to see you. Yes, indeed. Hail Waffles. It's always about waffles up in this place. Let me tell you, man, this is why the interface drives me crazy, man. I'll grab something I don't mean to grab. which happens. We've got my main man, my can of spam. It's all about money. Stephen Rockwood drawing, and we've also got someone I was just thinking about. Speaking of positivity, the other day, Jeremy Ice and Fire. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, if you love the universe of Game of Thrones, that wonderful Ice and Fire world, please check him out. He is awesome. He's a great dude. He is my New England brother. And let's see, we got Phil in the chat. What is up, my brother Phil? Lost Pages, check it out, guys. It's got about 11 days left, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see who else we've got here, man. Stephen Rockwood is the man. And Stephen, I'm sorry to hear about your hard drive, man. I hope you're doing better, my brother. Let's see. Hail to the sexy peeps in the chat. Hail to you, Hostman Socrates. It is great to see you, channel member, up in this place. And let me see. I think I saw a few other people. We've got Phantasmagorical in the chat. Hey, Phantasmagorical. It is great to see you. I do love that word. It's a good thing. Let me see. Who else have we got? We've got Mighty Geek Studios, channel member and all-around legend in the chat. It is great to see you, Mighty Geek. I hope you are doing well. We have got channel member. How are you doing, brother? Hunch the Dirty Roofer. It is great to see you. Stuck in, is it Baton Rouge or Baton Rouge? I don't know. Traffic, my friend, I am sorry to hear that. Yeah, Baton Rouge. There we are. I was like, I figured it was autocorrect or something crazy. We've got Anthony Gonzalez Clark. Dude, what's up? What's up with you? It is great to see all of you fine people. So let's talk. Let's talk the turkey. That's an important thing. And we must say this. Yes, A Song of Ice and Fire, if you like those things, and I know a lot of you do, because those books do sell, I am told, in the millions. So there you go. People gotta love it. The show is popular. It's hot right now. And so let's get down to brass tacks, people. So I don't know if you guys can tell from the thumbnail, but I took a photo of all the pages of the book. I didn't show all of them in that photo. It would be a tall vertical if I did. But I had all the pages laid out. It's an amazing feeling, guys, closing in on this. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about something that's been on my mind, the things that are really important, and the reason why we're here, the reason why we get together, we do this kind of thing. And I know I've talked a lot about positivity, and sometimes people say, oh man, your streams are so positive. And I think that's an important thing. And yeah, I love hearing things like that, by the way. Yes, indeed, man. We get our stuff out there. That's what it is. Shanth's got big brass tacks. Indeed, I do. It's very true. It's very true. But I was sitting here and I was thinking about just how we go through life, how we look at things, how we approach things, and all of those kinds of things. And it all sort of started with our kid, my son, saying, hey, Dad, I want to show you this movie. It's Blade Runner 2049. Now, I had never seen this flick before, but I wanted to see it because he wanted me to see it, and I thought, heck yeah, man, let's do this thing. Let's check this out. And in the process of doing so, let me see if I can figure out what the Helter Skelter. Oh, that's the one. Okay. In the process of doing so, one of the things that was interesting to me is I realized how much room there was to interpret this flick. There we go. I just want to make those colors a little better. And yeah, see, Antoine, you're right there. Antoine Dennis in the chat, the professor in the house. I really enjoyed that film. It was great seeing you the other night, by the way, brother. And this is the thing. Yes, I'm working on Nosfero right now. Yeah, I'm putting some detailing in right now. And the thing about it that was interesting is I was watching that flick and he was talking to me about it. And yeah, he's a fine director, Stephen Rockwood. And dude, I hope you feel better, man. You're concussed. My goodness. Feel better, Tamier. But yeah, it's the thing about it that I thought was really compelling is that you can oftentimes see when I don't believe in reader response theory. In fact, it's a Marxist, postmodernist, insane lie and delusion, I should say, cognitive distortion. However, I do think that we can oftentimes be affected by the prevailing winds of our times. And when I watched that movie, it was interesting to hear a lot of people's different takes on it before I saw it. And what I realized when I saw that movie is, and sorry if this, it won't really be spoilers so much as I'm just going to talk about sort of general things. but not General Piggy. I love General Piggy, but that's not this general thing I'm going to be talking about. And I was watching it, and I thought, this movie, for all intents and purposes, is like a fast motion, right, of adolescence. You've got a person coming on the scene. They're basically just kind of doing, what they're told to do without a lot of thought into it. They have an experience that gets them to question why they're doing things. They then have this natural, which is a normal thing in adolescence, kind of narcissism, like I'm important, I'm the chosen one, that kind of thing. But then where it evolves to is the next step, which I think people are in sore sort of need of, which is the things that you've got in your life don't have to be important to everybody to be important to you. And it's that journey of discovery, of figuring out that you have agency in your life, and what are you going to do with that agency? How are you going to make choices as an individual as opposed to as a member of a collective? And again and again and again, we see this idea of the preciousness of the individual revealed in that story. And I love it. I love seeing that kind of thing. There you go, comic book adaptation. I did not know that. Yeah, if Villeneuve can make a good sequel to Blade Runner, he can do anything. Agreed. I think Deckard is a replicant. I agree, because he could have the fight with Kay. Yes, Dave Bautista got massacred by Kay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Totally right. I agree with that. Mighty Magic, hail to you, man. It's great to see you in the chat. Let me see if I missed anybody else. But so this is the thing, right? I started thinking about how if you're around a bunch of people and their view is nihilistic, they could interpret that movie completely differently. And I realized that one of the things that's interesting to me is that going out to a group, which this really talks about, and trying to give the attributes of an individual to a group is really the gateway to misery. Because I have to be honest with you, the thing I love about operating in this space with so many other creators who I think are similar-minded, although we are all individuals, is that you start to realize how, whatever it is, if you have a Labrador, right, if you have a dog, if you have a pet, that pet, people have had pets before, people have had a pet that might look exactly like yours, but it's your pet, it's your experience, that's why it's important. And I think that that's the thing that's kind of funny, is the amount of people on this planet is not the case against your individual existence. And your individual existence is not the case against all the other people on this planet. You feel me? You hear what I'm talking about? And this is the thing about it that has sort of dawned on me lately, is that robs you of your joy in this world, right? It robs you of your joy in this world when it's got to be all or nothing with the group. It's got to be all or nothing with the individual. And I guess that's the thing I thought about so much, which is you have this life, you have this experience, you have your time, and worrying about what the attitudes are of an entire group of people, or thinking that you can't think a certain way because an entire group of people do it, is ultimately the way to feeling completely defeated by it all, man. And yeah, we hear your chatter, says Tammy. Right on, right on. Yeah, the anime prequel was pretty good. Yeah, well, and this is a thing that's really interesting. Yes, indeed, Tammy. Recover and get better. Yeah, I tweaked my back the other day, and I mean, I'm still feeling it. Yes. Yeah, we feel Djibouti. That's right, man. Listen, Antoine, Dennison, and I, we both feel Djibouti. You know what? That's going to sound wrong. But love is love. You know, if you're new to this stream, people, a pimp's love is quite different than that of a square. Never forget. Never forget. So when I'm working and I'm looking at the stuff that I'm doing and I'm painting, it's kind of funny because what other people are doing with their work, I am excited to see. Whatever it is, even if it's not art or comics related, I'm into it. I'm like, yeah, let's do this thing. But it doesn't affect, I don't feel like that it minimizes or changes the experience for everybody who gets this book. I'm going to be packing these things individually. I'm going to be mailing these to individuals. And I don't think that one person's experience is all the same. If I mail one copy, well, what's the point of mailing the others? That kind of thing. And that's what gets me excited and keeps me going in the morning. And so if people want to know what, the key is, at least for me feeling positive, it's every single day being grateful for my life and also recognizing the fact that I'm an individual, and that is not a small thing to be just an individual. In fact, as Ayn Rand said, an individual is the smallest minority on Earth, and I think it's very, very true. But I don't let what's going on with everyone else dictate where I'm going to be and how I'm going to view the world. Do you know what I mean? And amen, Tammy. I cannot wait to get this to you guys. Yeah, most people have forgotten that this world is built of individuals, not groups. And it's only the premise of this fine, nation of the United States of America, right? Is that we are individuals. Individuals have liberty. Groups do. Groups do. And this goes and speaks to the community. That word, the community. I don't like that word, too close to communism. But I've noticed where people come up to you and they ask you to co-sign on things. I watched this happen in the knitting community, and it blew my mind. Do you know what I mean? And in the knitting community, they would say, don't you agree that there's problems in the community, including you in it? And my first reaction is, communities don't got a problem. Individuals in a community might have a problem, but let's not make this everyone's problem. Do you get what I mean? So they go, this community is racist. So if I'm in the community, I'm racist? Is that what you're saying? This community isn't really doing this. Guys, I don't want control over a community, and I don't want to be in a union. I don't want there to be meetings. It's not what it's about. And thank you, Hostman Socrates. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, first they came for the knitters. You're absolutely right. Well, actually, first they came for conventions and science fiction and comics and sci-fi fantasy books, right? Those guys had an advantage on us in terms of, or disadvantage. They saw it coming. And every new group of people is shocked. So here's what I want to make sure I'm saying, and here's what I want to make sure I'm getting across today. First of all, I am glad you guys are here as individuals. I'm glad you guys are here as individuals, and I want you to be glad that you're here and in this experience as an individual. We hang out, we do what we do here. I paint, I work, I do all of this stuff. But again, I just keep thinking as I do this stuff and as I'm working, that when I see a movie and I see, characters triumph, even though everybody's saying, hey, there's a person just like you, in the case of androids. Hey, there's been a lot of people just like you, in the case of androids. If you have any ability to make individual choices, which all of us do, all of us were born with, then you have a powerful amount of control over your experience. And I think that's why people love, Bob Ross. When you would paint, he'd go, it's your painting. Doesn't have to look exactly like mine. It's your world. And I love that about him. Do you know what I mean? What is up, Skull Nasher? How are you doing? First they came for the most oppressed group, gamers. You're right. That is true. That is true. Yeah, it's absolutely right. Yeah, don't get mad, get glad. Amen. And I love those trash bags. Great company. According to the left, I should have greasy skin, a stupid accent, and a funny mustache because, dear Lord, I was like, oh, this could go anywhere. Yeah, it's, that's my uncle. Yeah. Well, it's a fascinating thing. Yeah, divided we fall. Individuals can help one another. Codependents cannot. Amen. What is up, HR? How are you doing? It is great to see you, my friend. Let me see. I don't believe there should be tension between individuals and groups. We are a part of both. I would agree with that, except for I will tell you this. And here's the thing. There is no necessary conflict. There's a lot of unnecessary conflict, which is to say that because there's a large group of people does not necessitate that they are against your capacity as an individual. And I would say most people need to understand that the one person who absolutely cannot betray your existence as an individual is you. It starts with you. And yes, you can be in situations that are oppressive. You can be in, I'm not saying those things don't exist. However, if we're talking about it in its most natural sense, particularly in the Constitution of the United States, they say we hold these truths to be self-evident. And it's about a association of people, but it's not about, a quote-unquote collectivist community. That is not what it's based on. And it's based on respecting people's individuality. And so here's the thing I want people to understand. It does nobody good if you're in a group of people and everybody's feeling down and hopeless for you to, as an individual, make the decision to go along with the group. None. It makes no sense. And if everybody is like, this is the greatest thing in the world, and you don't think so, it's not in your interest to think it's the greatest thing in the world because everybody else thinks so. Nor is it in your interest to not like it because everybody else thinks so and you want to make sure you're a, quote, individual. And you define being an individual as not being in a group. That is not what I'm talking about. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, thank you so much, HR. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, we all look the same inside. Don't blame the rapper. And I will tell you this other thing, Tammy. One of the craziest things I've ever heard about. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but every now and again I hear another thing in science that I can't believe. Has anybody in the chat heard about this genetic phenomenon called mirror twins? Have any of you in the chat heard of mirror twins? Give me a 1. Let me know what is up. Yeah, it's let me know if you guys know about what mirror twins are. I found this out and it did my head in, man. Yep. I didn't go along with the group, and it's so far hasn't been the best. So far, has been the best decision I've made. Yeah. And so far it has been the best decision I've made. I was gonna say, yeah, yes, there you go, absolutely 1. Yep. Shanth, you're cutting your character off at the ankles. I know it's intentional choice, but I always told it's improved to crop joints. Yes, and yes. Sometimes. Do you know what I mean? My attitude is with things like that is it depends on a couple of things that are important artistically and spiritually and emotionally. How much do I want to paint those feet? No. When I'm done with this piece, and when I resolve that particular area of this piece, one of the things I'm exploring is what I'm going to put there. So things often change, but the biggest thing I would say about putting ankles at the end of a composition is if they're both at the same height, it's going to be more of an issue. And also it has more to do with the contrast of it, which is why you see so many people smoke those things out and make them kind of gray, if that makes sense. Yeah, Liefeld says what? Yes, indeed. Yeah, Art Times. Jay Ryan, what is up, my friend? It's great to see you. What is up, Mayako Movies? Is that how am I pronouncing this? Or Mayako Movies? Is that it? Let me know. Shanth, you can character of the ankles. My 1, good. So a mirror twin, for those of you guys who don't know, is a twin where they're born and all of their organs on the inside are mirror image of where they should normally be. And I think that's a phenomenon that you can find in an individual, possibly if a twin, they were a twin or something like that, but I'm not sure on this. But it blows my mind because they were talking about how doctors took x-rays and are like, this x-ray's backwards. And it's something that, of all the important things you should know medically about yourself, your allergies or everything else, if you're a mirror twin, know that. Because when the doctors go in, they're going to be looking for your liver on the wrong side. And it blew my mind when I learned about this. I was like, this is crazy. This is so insane. Yeah. Groups almost never do what's best because each member of the group has different needs. And there you go. If you've ever seen boxing fans or sports fans or anybody, you know this to be true. A fan of a team is not the same as another fan of a team and everything else. There's this old saying in I heard about in medicine that I always thought was funny, and it was applied to particular condition. It was basically like, to make it basic, which is if you've met one kid with this particular thing, you've met one kid with this particular thing. And it was saying that, you've got to really take your time and, get a differentiated diagnosis of any particular situation. And I guess the other thing that I would say is that when it comes to the individual, when it comes to all of this, I want you guys to have peace of mind that when you come to Shanth Enjeti Art, you are in this particular space, Shanth Enjeti Art. If it, that's it. It's just a space where you guys come in and whatever is going on with everyone else, sometimes I'm aware of stuff, sometimes I'm not aware of stuff, but the person I'm responsible for and the person who's here to guarantee that you guys have a good time is me. I am solely responsible for my success and how I'm able to do these things. And I am grateful for the support, guys. And I want to bring you guys positivity and enthusiasm, not because anyone else is doing it, because, there are people doing it and there's people who aren't doing it. It doesn't matter. This is sort of my default setting. My default setting is gratitude. And I have down days, I have up days. But I think that this is the most important thing. Don't let yourself get sucked into the negativity. And I think all of us, and that's always going to be my message, I think all of us are susceptible to the doomsday thinking, and the negativity. That's the main thing. Yep, it's one of the coolest groups I know. Absolutely right, yeah. Tammy, a backwards heart, is that why I'm always looking the other direction? Yep. I'm so glad to see another fan of Knights of the Old Republic, the best Star Wars character ever made. Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic's awesome. I don't know much about it, but I've seen it. It's cool. I remember seeing the trailer for the first video game of that. had to do an EKG on a patient the opposite way. Whoa, that is so cool. Other side of the chest, it was weird. I can imagine it. Yeah, welcome to the Enjeti zone. You can also be torn with your organs on. Oh my, yeah, yeah, I've heard about that. I've seen, and every now and again, my kids or will come to me and they'll go, "We found this documentary and it's like medical, insanity or whatever, or medical phenomenon," and you just go, "Oh, I didn't know that was a thing," And I'll tell you another funny thing about this book, Antoine, if you want to hear something crazy. There's this thing I've always wanted to do, and it's just for you guys to know, so don't worry. Yeah, my default setting is acrylic paint, gouache. I tell you what, my default setting is just being amazed by beauty. I'm amazed by, and not, Djibouti. That's a place, that's a location, or so they say. But my default setting is the beauty and being captivated by things, and I, like I said, I mean, my attitude has always been, if you want to see the positivity in this world, interact with, experience an individual, and that's your best shot. You will see negativity, but it is very hard to find a group of people who are going to be consistently positive and excited. It's a tough thing to manifest because people are complicated. And, that's a person's right to be so, to be complicated and do their own thing. But if you're in this world and you're looking for that positivity and you're looking for, non-naive optimism about this world, then I think that that's something that's out there and worth finding, and you can manifest it in yourself. You can actually do things to bring that about. You know what they say, excellence is not a destination, it's a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. And that's the biggest thing. This book came from me getting up every day and painting. Nothing short of that. That's all it is. Backwards Heart sounds like a romance novel. Antoine Dennison, trademark it now. Make it happen. Yeah, my default setting is acrylic paint. Yeah, that is some rough stuff, Tammy. Is it survivable? I don't know. Yeah. At Michael of St. Joseph, thanks. HK47 is hilarious. Indeed. Let's see here. John, it doesn't sound survivable. Yeah, it sounds rough. It sounds a bit rough. And thank you guys for being here. Smash that like. We got 22 people watching. I do think it affects the algorithm. It is quite the thing to be on this side of the algorithm. I've been noticing with the shows that we do that you start to see a big push down on, from the algorithm, and you just go, it is what it is. You got to stay consistent. You can't let it drive you. I'm a cynical bastard most of the time, but seeing the enthusiasm on this channel warms my cold black heart. Well, I'm telling you, I'm the same way sometimes. I just wasn't good at it. It's the weirdest thing. I wasn't good at the cynicism. I tried. Ecclesiastes in the Bible sees a man lamenting the loss of a loved friend. However, always ends with praise of God, a lesson we all need. Yeah, and that's the other crazy thing. I want people to be able to enjoy their lives. And you can say, when something bad happens, you can say, why me? And when this is the thing I think I want people to really get out of all of this stuff is, you can say, why me when something bad happens, but you can also say, why me when something good happens. And by the way, other people can say that too. That other people can say, why you when something good happens for you. And you can't let that be your business. You know what I mean? You can't let that drive you. It's not a way to go, And I always say, just don't do it. Let's see here. Looking great. Your art seems to be getting you better. Oh, thank you. Bad Crow Comics, man. You got me. Speaking of positivity. Much love. Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, man. And Job, I'm trying to find it here. Anthony Gonzalez Clark. I bow to you, sir. Yes, Anthony Gonzalez Clark. Much love. Hail indeed. Yeah. Job never, let's see. Oh, Job. I read, I need to get hooked on phonics. Job, thank you. Yes, Job never cursed God. There you go. And that's the thing about it. I love my reading when, it's a wonder to behold. But I often say this, guys. When something good happens to you, that's probably more the poisonous thing I see right now going on that people are hearing. People are saying anything good that happened to you was you taking it away from somebody else. Don't ever let someone tell you that. Don't ever let somebody tell you to believe that. It is not true. That is the definition of a thief, when something happens from somebody else and they think it should be theirs. And that is much more of a Marxist communist thing and a socialist thing than it is anything else. But an individual achievement is something to behold. If you're having a wonderful sunny day, you don't owe somebody guilt for that. Don't ever let anybody tell you that. It's ridiculous. And if you do something and you have a great accomplishment, you don't owe anybody guilt for that. And it's something I think a lot of people with this kind of, we got to make sure that everybody feels like they're a winner. What it's actually done is, it didn't just steal victory from people and excellence or reward for excellence from one group of people. Or I should say, it didn't give excellence to one group of people. It stole achievement from everybody. And you get to a point to where you feel like, by that rationale, that if you're achieving, it's only a problem, right, if nobody deserves to achieve. And we kind of criminalized excellence. We criminalized excellence in a way that Ayn Rand talks about in Anthem. You can tell that short story, that novella, had a big influence on me. And I look at this stuff and I just go, why is somebody's excellence a problem? Why is somebody's happiness, which to me is a supreme excellence, why is that a problem? That's the thing that I often talk about. So I don't ever need permission from a group to be excited about what I'm doing and to make art. And the second somebody in a group tells me that, I'm not in that group. I will make it clear I'm not in that group. It's that simple. Yeah, envy only steals. You're absolutely right. The other streaming option for now is Jeremy Griggs' Cobra Cast. I can't think of someone more black people. You know what? I used to watch Jeremy with the Fandom Menace stuff, so I don't know. I don't know if he is, or not. So it's not for me to say. But I always say this, man, is that people go through different kinds of times. They go through different things. They put in different kinds of work. And sometimes people, I will say this, sometimes people are really enjoy kind of being, pissed off. It's a thing. It's all right. Like, I love when Bill Burr is, like, living the ultimate New England life. So I say, people, do what you have to do, man, and enjoy stuff. Go where you are, go where you want to be. And I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. And I wish him all the best, man. But yeah, I mean, it's such a fascinating thing because, how do I word it? I also have seen, and I think this is really important, I have seen groups of individuals lift each other up and be inspiring. It can happen. The full experience is open to you, man. The full experience is open. And it's like, I was looking at Frazetta's work, and Frazetta has, perfect Mighty Magic. That's the movie right there. Absolutely right. And I just think that most people say to themselves at a certain point, they're right, there's a trade-off for being in a group, and I think being alone is not exactly, being an individual should not be synonymous with being alone and isolating. That's not the point I'm making. Because you can be alone with everybody, as Richard Ashcroft said. You can be alone with everybody, and everybody knows what that's like, and you can be an individual in a group. It's just your refusal to compromise your principles, and it starts with knowing what your principles are. And I've seen a lot of people who have gone down the road, I know I did when I was young, that my principles as an individual were to just do, what the group wasn't doing. Not really being an individual, because that group is still dictating your actions. You know what I mean? And so it's, whenever I say this, whenever you're feeling, negative or down, or whenever I'm feeling that way, let's just say that, I always think, go connect with a person. Go connect with an individual. Call somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Send somebody a positive email. Do something like that, and you will feel so much better. Yeah. Man, Amadeus has so many great lines. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Yeah, Bill Burr is one of the few honest comedians left. Yeah, Bill Burr is great. He's got, kids, and, he's married to Nia, as he always says. And they have a really great marriage. And it seems like they're doing really well, and it seems like they're happy. And I know he's been through a lot of stuff and done a lot of work, on himself to get to where he is. I have a Bill Burr quote on a piece of foam core I rest my hand on. I don't know where the heck it is right now. But it's a great, he's had some really great points and some really great, insights into things. And that's what comedians bring us, right? But, you know, you're not smarter when you're being negative. You're not dumber. I should say you're not smarter when you're being negative, and you're not an amazing, you know, moral quality to not pay attention when things aren't good. But perpetually trying to give yourself that, you know, confirmation bias and framing bias that everything is hopeless. One, you're not going to be productive. But two, everything can't always be hopeless and everything can't always be positive or good. You know, but you can be. You know what I mean? You can be. And, you know, you hear this from doctors and nurses, which I know we've got a nurse in the house. We probably have some doctors. We probably have some more people who work in the medical care profession. And the thing I think about a lot of times is when you hear physicians treating patients with serious ailments, and they say, if I had to place a bet, you know, on who's going to make it, it's people with the better attitude. I could think about that all the time. You know, now it doesn't mean that if you have a good attitude, everything's going to work out. They're just saying it seems to have an impact on how well you do during that particular time period. And we know we respond to emotions, and there's got to be something to it. There's got to be. And I really think that, you know, when I was reading that one of my favorite YouTube videos is me reading the How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky Twitter thread, and you can find that on this channel. But he talks about, you know, surround yourself with people who think long-term and people playing, you know, quote-unquote long-term games and who are positive and motivated. And I don't know if there's a way forward for anybody where, you know, they avoid that. They avoid that reality. Sooner or later, you got to bring that to the game or you're going to be exhausted. I got my principles from the movie Animal House absolutely right. And remember this, that's a movie about positivity. You know what I mean? I mean, did we say it was over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No. Never forget. Never forget that. That is one of my guiding principles. Let's see here. It's a fun and tragic movie at Hostman Socrates. Which movie are we talking about? Let's see here. I may have missed it. To watch list forever. Let me see here. Yeah, Bill is married to a black woman. I can't see that. God, jeez. Well, she had, I think her Twitter thread was great. Yeah, mental attitude does affect your physiology. Which brings me to, by the way, let's talk a little bit about myself. So for those of you guys who are channel members and know, I had a back spasm, I think it was on like Friday or so, doing like absolutely nothing, to be honest. And this speaks to it. I was just feeling really, really tense. You know, I'm wrapping up the book. I'm looking at all the pages. I'm doing all of this kind of stuff. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, you know, I didn't know how stressed out I was. And then I just reached over to grab something and it was like, bang, I felt it. And I thought, oh man, I was like, why did that happen? And I'm telling you, man, gotta stretch. You're absolutely right, Tammy. I know. My missus is getting on me about that. She's like, you gotta walk, you gotta stretch, old man Shanth. Oh, listen, y'all don't even know. If the mileage is the thing, the mileage is high on this old jalopy. But the thing is I started thinking to myself, like, okay, so I'm actually, you know, feeling so incredibly tense and my muscles are so tensed up that I actually put myself off in a worse spot. And I laughed and I said, all right, dude, this is a sign to, one, take Advil and, you know, yes, indeed, stretch. But even more importantly than that, too, it's let's take a look at why this happened. Where's our attitude right now? Because as much as I like to say, no, I'm feeling great, everything's, you know, easy peasy sometimes, it's not. And I sort of had to kind of laugh. In those moments, I just have to laugh, you know? Shanth, has anyone recommended it? Yes. You know what everybody does, man. Yeah, watch it, Steven. I'm older than Shanth. Yeah, exactly. But, you know, think about that, you know, that way where, for me, it's silly little things I do sometimes. Like, I'll put the computer when I'm streaming further away, so I have to lean over further to type a response or to put something on screen, you know? And it's like, which I haven't been doing a lot of lately. I gotta make sure I put some stuff on screen. For some reason, I keep forgetting. Yeah, I'm with you. Watch it. I'm older, Shanth. Indeed. Old man Shanth, says Stephen Rockwood. Hail, chat. There's my brother and channel member, Timmy Mello. It's great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Love seeing you there, man. Yeah, stretch and get some warm water bottles to help relieve the tension. Yeah, my wife got me a heating pad to put on it, and it was heavenly. Heating pads are good things, people. Heating pads are good things. And, you know, I think it really has made me kind of understand that it's like you can't put you just can't put constant tension in your brain and expect nothing to happen. It's going to affect you. And here's what I did. Here's the funniest thing. So I've been working like a maniac on this book. And I love my wife and kids, and they're fantastic. And my son has been asking me, he's like, I want to watch this movie with you. He loves the movie Blade Runner 2049. And I went, what am I doing? I have a hurt back. I can have a hurt back downstairs and watch an awesome movie with my son. I'm dying to watch this movie with my son. Why am I not letting myself have this thing? I'm excited, man. And it's like, I'm excited about, I'm excited about seeing this with my son. And it turned out to be a really great day. Watching that movie with him, it was awesome. It was one of those great memories. And it really is, oftentimes it's not the situation, it's the attitude, and it's the people you've got around you. And again, the group of individuals you have around you. And I guess that really is what it comes down to. You can see things negatively. It is possible. I'm creative enough to see things negatively if I want to. It's just not, I have not seen the upshot of it, and I'm not really great at it. Because I can always think of a reason to be hopeful. The real trick, for me at any rate, is, in terms of being hopeful, is don't take away the good things. If it's one thing, I think that when I was coming up anyway, we talked a lot about how, it was bad enough when we talked about the, when something bad happens to you, those initial thoughts of, why is this happening to me? Why does this always happen to me? In the chat, there's no end to stuff that happens to folks, right? You guys know this. Yeah, an attitude of gratitude. You're absolutely right, Antoine Dennison. You're absolutely right, man. Yes, indeed. Hail Mighty Magic and Hostman Socrates, says Timmy Mello. And the thing I thought about with that was that you also can't say, why do I get to have nice things all the time? Or I should feel guilty for having nice things. And that's something I'm really good at. I'm really good at that. And I've had to get ungood at that. Because it's an absolutely useless thing to have. And you have to say to yourself, I have nice things because I work my tail off. I have nice things because I've got skill. I have nice things because I put my chin out there. And sometimes I take it on the chin. And that's what I mean when I say bare knuckle positivity. I made that video that says bare knuckle positivity because that's how I feel about it. You have to, it's not about, putting your blinders on. It's about going out there and getting it, Yeah. Art, give me those white pills. Yeah, exactly. Not the ones from the back alley, indeed. Easier to see the negative than the positive. Yes, indeed. Your life is how you make it. Very true. Very true. My cat sat wet and muddy on my art. Why do things always happen to me? I only left it on the floor. Exactly. And here's another thing. It's, but, you love that cat, right? You love your pets. You love your friends. You love them for the silliness. And it's one of those things where it's embrace the entire situation. When I started making this comic, and maybe that's why my back tensed up so much. It's almost like when you're working on something and it's such a huge marathon, and then you stand back, and this is precisely the day it happened. And I took a photo of all the pages, and I felt just so proud of how much work I did, how much perseverance I've had on this project. That now I'm in this phase where I'm just plussing pages with detail here and there and just kind of checking out the writing of it. And I thought, man, this is overwhelming to me. This is crazy. If you had shown these pages to me at the start of this project, it would have been so much less stressful. But I was feeling that sense of pride and satisfaction. I guess pride is not the ideal word, but that sense of accomplishment that I did it. And I did something that was and there's miles to go before I sleep, let me be clear, and there's the printers and all that other stuff. But the thing about it that got me is that sometimes that's the stuff that catches me cold. And I was just sort of like, why am I stressing myself out about, getting to this point? And that's just as bad for you. Because if you don't have positive things in your life, if you don't let yourself enjoy things, what's the point of having them? What's the point of having your life if you don't enjoy it in a meaningful and fulfilling way? And that's what we try to do, man. It's or at least that's what the people I hang out with do. They try to say to people, hey, enjoy this thing. I was talking with a buddy of mine not long ago. Actually, let me read this too. This is a big one. Hard work and success doesn't come without enduring sense of pain. It's the process of advancing from one plateau to another. You're absolutely right. Anders Ericsson, his book is amazing on that. Let's see here, Shanth Enjeti. I used to do a lot of, Hostman Socrates says, I used to do a lot of stupid stupid bungles. I don't know what that means. Oh, that would make my dad mad, and I thought I was in for it, but he would always wind up just laughing. Then I would laugh too. You're absolutely right. Yeah, speaking of bare knuckle positivity, might want to show the Elder Boxer versus Street Thugs video. Yeah, I know I can't do that particularly with this particular thing, but you're absolutely right. You know, it's we talked about that. Like, you see people, I see too many awesome people doing incredible things against all odds, you know? And it's that's the thing that inspires me. But I also like to take time to say, hey, enjoy yourself. This is a good thing what we've got here. This whole life experience. Get into it and enjoy it. And this book is the start of something. I was laughing the other night, just saying to myself, you know, what is Shanth Enjeti art? What's it about? You know, like, what am I about? But also, what do I want to say to people so they understand it? And I was like laughing, just thinking of things. It's like, make comics spooky again. Make comics sexy again. Make art beautiful again. Like, I just kept thinking about all of the things that fell out of vogue and that people are starving for. And, you know, positivity is one of those. Like, when I see, you know, people getting excited about the Nintendo movie and it doing well, and I think about the legacy of those characters and people who've grown up with them and taken them to heart, I go, you see, everything doesn't have to go in the same direction. Everything doesn't have to be political. Sometimes things can just be fun. You know, sometimes things can just be fun. Yeah, stretch the back of your legs regularly, Shanth. I do. I absolutely do that because, yeah, I've taken international flights, so I have to always remember to do that. Yeah, make comics great again, indeed. Because, guys, you know, you think about this stuff. We've got every person who's ever created anything, whether it's Walter Elias Disney, Jack Kirby, or Stan Lee. It started small, and it started with a handful of people saying, we're being crazy enough to say we can do this. And it's always one of my favorite sayings to say to people, don't tell me what's probable, tell me what's possible. You know, because improbability is always, you know, the backdrop of excellence. Because if it was probable, it wouldn't be excellence, it'd be everywhere, you know? And so the people that I really value and I'm impressed by are people who you know, who can laugh and smile and have a good time in the exact same world where everybody else is feeling down. Unless, of course, they're Heath Ledger's Joker. That's a whole nother problem. But that's the stuff that I think I take to heart, you know. And working on this stuff and seeing the story kind of, you know, deepen and seeing the world deepen has been kind of the big thing for me on this. You know, helps that sciatic nerve. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, will there be another Horror Waffle Lodge with you and Vaughn, or is that done for now? Well, it's done for now, largely because I to save money, I've cut StreamYard out of my purchases, so I'm on Ecamm right now. And you can't do all of the sharing stuff and the group people on there that you can do on StreamYard. But yeah, I mean, I want to do that again at some point. I want to do more horror stuff. I want to do... because I just, you know what's sort of funny about it is when summer rolls around, I don't know if any of you guys are like this, drop a 1 in the chat if this has ever happened to you or if it happens to you regularly. One of the things that is funny is I get into a Halloween mode when summer rolls around sometimes. Do any of you ever get in a mood for spooky things or horror movies or that kind of thing when the summer rolls around? I blame Camp Crystal Lake for that. I don't know. Maybe it's just Camp Crystal Lake. But I know I definitely do. But yeah, the other day, in addition to watching that great movie with my son, one of the things that was also kind of fun about it was I was watching a bunch of movies I haven't seen in a while, but I really enjoy. So I've been watching a lot of Batman 1989, Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, watching some Hammer horror films, all of that stuff, and it's been putting me in a great mood, you know, to put that stuff out there. So if you've got a favorite movie, put that thing on at some point. Sit back, enjoy it. Make some popcorn. Go out and grab yourself some popcorn and enjoy yourself. That's why, I mean, that was the whole point of, and one of the things I enjoy about the whole Waffle Lodge thing and the waffle thing, which is I can't think of a food that kind of brings more joy and comfort to people than pancakes and waffles. You know? Oh my gosh, a super chat from Antoine. Holy cow, I almost missed that. Sorry, Antoine. Let me share this right here. Add to broadcast. Super chat from Antoine Dennison. Is it say anything? Oh my gosh, he just dropped a super chat. That's what he does. Antoine does it. So, yeah, no. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's some ones. You guys know. Yeah, get some ones in the chat right there. Yes, indeed. You guys know. Yeah, sometimes. No, says Tammy. I don't. Hostman's like, one. Yeah, I totally do. And so, Antoine Dennison, in honor of you and that super chat, thank you so much, my friend. You gangsta. And here you go. Cheers to you, Antoine Dennison. Charge! Absolutely right. Yeah, actually, Vaughn does. I don't know if is streaming on his channel yet, but he does have StreamYard. I actually went in there and showed him how to do it. I think one of the weeks. I can't remember what week it was. So yes, he definitely has it. And so yeah, I mean that might work. That might work. Yeah, it's always a good time to watch a Hammer horror movie. You're absolutely right, Skull Nasher. It is. Yeah, and it's funny too because one of my favorite Mighty Magic knows what I'm talking about. There you go. Yeah, that period between spring and summer should be considered false autumn. And with autumn comes a spooky time. You're absolutely right. Yeah, dude, charge. That's right. Shanth, you did say drop $1 in the chat. I did? Oh, drop a 1. Oh, Antoine. I am so slow today. That was beautiful. Oh my gosh. Tammy, what you doing? Tammy's like, you can do better. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. $5 super chat from Tammy saying, anything you can do, I can do better. Oh, there you go. It's on now. It's on, Antoine. There you have it. So let me send a cheerleader your way, Tammy, and thank you so much. Charge! John's like, I missed the one topic. So what I was talking about was, I was saying, does anybody get into a Halloween mode? And thank you again, Tammy A. Does anyone get into a Halloween mode during the spring? And I always do. I don't know what it is, but I get into a mode where I'm just like, I want there to be some Halloween, you know? I need Djibouti from JCVD. That's right, I know, right? But that's a double impact thing. You can thank Minnie and Gabe for that. Yeah, no, it was John, Antoine killed it with that one. Got me, man. Let's see here. Who makes guillotine? What ought to be cannot be deduced from what is, aka do better. There you go. John, do you get a hankering for a good horror movie during the summer? There you go. You're welcome, Sean. Thank you, Tammy. I do appreciate it. Summer and fall are the best seasons. Change my mind. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with that. And it's interesting, too, because I never even really thought about it until we had this conversation. But there is this aspect in my color palette. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. It's kind of got an autumn vibe to it. So, yeah, I mean, I love that, man. I love that. And, you know, I will say this, too, is that when we get together and we hang out and we do this kind of thing, and, you know, you guys help to fund all of this by supporting it and backing it and becoming channel members and all that stuff, it's never lost on me. And I'm always thinking about, you know, when I do this, like, how can I, you know, not in a stressful way, to be clear, but I'm always thinking about what are the possibilities of YouTube. What are the things that we can do? What are the possibilities of Rumble? What are the possibilities of all of these places? And I find that that's the thing that gets me excited, is that I can improve the camera settings. I can do all kinds of things. Like, I'll show you something. I don't do this very often. I don't use this very often, but I probably should. Where the heck is it? Hold on a second here. Look at this old man go. All right, let's try this. So I have an option, if I can make this happen. Or is it not able to happen? Oh, I know what it is. Never mind. Hang on. I got to go to this one, and then let me see if this works. I'm going to click on that. There you go. And I can zoom in, and I can zoom out, and get some serious detail on there. Do you guys see what I mean? So, yeah, having an optical zoom on this thing is a lot of fun. It's not going to, you know, make the resolution as good as zooming in it actually, but you guys see what I mean. But you can see a lot of autumn colors in there. Yeah, sometimes during the summer, I'll walk into an area that's hot and dusty, and I get flashbacks to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There you go. You can put that towards a mouse costume. I will, Tammy. I absolutely will. As for my friend Andy Mouse 123 says, squeak! Indeed. Yes, John, that's the rental fee. Yes, wow, advanced zooming. I know. Isn't it scary? Osman Socrates says, 19 likes and counting. Smash that like button. Thank you, Osman. I appreciate it. Yeah, people are cracking up. But you guys can see what we're able to do with this technology, and it's a question of just getting more and more comfortable using it. Do you know what I mean? Look at these little flourishes. When I'm doing these streams, one of the things I forget to kind of do is show off the things that happen up close and in detail. Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm surprised sometimes that people will be flicking through, YouTube, and they'll say, oh my gosh, they'll stop when they see something like this happening. Because it's that graceful, meditative quality of painting and the stuff that we do here. And that's why I think, positively painting is kind of my thing. It's what I love about it, because you get to see this. And obviously, I don't have a director. I don't have anybody who's, operating the camera. It's me. So sometimes I'll look down and I'll realize, oh, wait, nobody can see what I'm doing right there. Like right there, if I go like that and adjust it, it looks like the same. Oops, let me adjust that a little bit more. See, eventually that's going to happen. Eventually I'm still going to have to get my hands on this thing. But now my hand is more out of the way. It's about the same shot, but it's done in a way to where as I move across, you can see things more. You know what I mean? And boy, when you guys get this book in your hands, that detail is going to get even sharper as it reduces. And it's not a drastic reduction, otherwise, the rendering would get completely lost. It'd just be gray tones. But this is a part of it for me. And I had to learn a lot of this stuff on my own, figuring out that like Ecamm is just better capture equipment for what I do. It's just better. Hey, what's up, Paulus Arts? It's great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Who's ordering Uber? Indeed, yeah, order some Uber. Yeah, my homie Ellie Munoz. What do you mean now? That's right. Damn, I want a cheeseburger. Oh, I know. I want a cheeseburger too. Guys, seriously, let's order these cheeseburgers. Let's make it happen. Art, Lizzo is for Monster, even Jimmy would win to Dare Fish. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see you, Paulus Arts. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, somebody's got to order burgers for everybody, Make it happen. Take that hit. Take that hit for everyone. My goodness. Here we go. And I love, this is one of my favorite things to do. Let me see if I can make sure it's focused. There you go. And then we'll bring that around. Get that consistency. The fun thing about this stage of the book is it's like whenever I'm going in and just putting the detailing stuff in, I always buy myself new brushes, and I don't hesitate because brushes, acrylics just are rough on your brushes, especially the point of your brushes. Like they don't have to kill the brush, but they can kill the point. And so at the end of it, I'm just going, look, we're into detail mode now. We don't have to do any huge areas of this or scrub things together. And I can make all of those little details and flourishes happen. And it's so fun, guys. It's so fun. John, now, like, maybe I can drive my mail truck to the next town. That's right. Get me some Five Guys. There you go. Oh, yeah. There's some big Five Guys fans in this house. Because we don't have an In-N-Out burger, which is apparently the gold standard according to my West Coast brothers. So, yeah, that's what they all say. That's the rage, guys. That's all the rage in Cali. There we go. Look at that, guys. This is the joy of painting, dare I say. But the fun of painting right here. Putting that stuff together. There will only be one Bob Ross, though, so there's only really one joy of painting. There we go. Just kind of, I want to make that a little bit more, just a little bit richer there. Put a nice color note there. There you go. But yeah, I'm going to be closing out the Nosfero campaign probably in the next few weeks, I think, because it's done. It's where it needs to be, and it's the campaign is just it's wrap up time. There we go. Which is why, I mean, again, this stuff is and those kinds of realizations are what makes a back get pulled out, because it just is like, oh my lord, like it's been such a journey on this thing. I mean, the character has been so solidified by this, it's wild. Let me zoom out a little bit so I can not risk getting completely out of frame right there. There you go. Let me see here. Oh, what's up, Charlie Stevenson? It's great to see you. Hey, John and Paulus Arts. I have heard mixed reviews about In-N-Out. There you go. Like Zoe. Stop. Art and Times with Jay Ryan. You almost had me there, man. Hey, John and Paulus Arts. Let's see. And what's up, Charlie Stevens? It's great to see you. Somebody's getting in. There you go. Shanth, you should do a painting for Double Impact on stream and Sparks. On Steam and Double Impact of Steam and Sparks. I got it. Boy, I'm slow, guys. Wild. Yes, indeed. I might actually have a few bucks to back it before then. Very cool, Paulus Arts. Much love. You got your window open, Shanth? No, but we live on a main street. Motorcycles like you would not believe now, because everybody in New England's feeling the summer. In and out, consistent tasting, no matter the location. There you go. Yeah. Freddy's frozen custards fries are the best. Oh man, you guys are like gonna make me hungry. Homemade burgers are the best. Absolutely right. Unless I'm making them, then they could be better, I'm sure. 23 likes and counting. Look at you guys. You guys are savages, man. Well done. But you know, it's so funny too when I zoom out. Like now, I just want to be like, let's just do it. Let's just zoom in on this thing, man. Come on now. Let's do it. But yeah, I mean, the one thing I cannot wait to get a hold of is for Valentine's Day, my wife ordered me the Frank Frazetta book, and I definitely want to get, when I get that book, I know it's going to be really inspiring, and I just keep saying, all right, just hold out a little bit longer till you get that book, because it might just give me an idea for pushing the color or something like that, and so we'll see. I mean, the book's going to happen when it happens, you know, but if that happens, that'd be great, because books really do inspire me. You know, art books, just you know, seeing other people just throw down and do killer stuff has always been a big inspiration for me. You know, just like you guys, man. Just like you guys showing up in the chat. Let's see here. What cameras are you using? I'm using a Razer Kaio, I think is what it is. I forget how it's spelled, but you guys probably know of it. Those little round ones with the built-in light. I don't use the light feature very often because it tends to make everything a little bit bluer. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent camera for this. I actually like Dairy Queen burgers, surprisingly good. However, none around here. Womp womp. Yeah, well, that's like me and Crystal burgers, man. It's like, I love Crystal burgers, but there aren't any. Let me move this over so I can just move this in. So you're not going to see much of a difference because the camera's attached to the desk. But man, for me and my back, it is a much better scenario. Much better scenario. But yeah, man, when I feel summer coming on and I hear all the motorcycles and all the excitement, it puts me in a good mood. You know, even though it's very, very loud and I can hear everybody's music. You guys know. You guys know what it's at. Let me see here. This and this. Let's see. Let's see here. My sister works at the one down the street. She's bringing me a chocolate extreme blizzard after work. That is a good sister. Hats off to her. I tip my cap to your sister. That's what I heard. Yeah, tons of motorcycles here. Oh, lucky you indeed. Yeah, that blizzard's gonna be good. Yeah, I mean, we definitely experience the full range of life outside of our front door. That's for sure. Lots of excitement in the summer and everybody's music, but you know, kids will be kids. It is what it is. I actually heard somebody made me laugh. There was somebody at the intersection playing loud music, and a guy on a motorcycle leaned over and went, "Can you turn your music down?" And the guy did. It was hilarious. I was like, oh my lord. Oh, summer. It's too funny. Too funny. But yeah, I mean, you guys can see, when I do these streams, the reason why Ecamm has become my capture and streaming method of choice is just because I have yet to see a program or software that captures the the detail like Ecamm can, because it's capturing it on your desktop, then it's streaming it to YouTube. So there's a little bit of a delay, but you know, you get high quality video either way when you're done with your stream. So it's great. You can edit it if you need to and do all that stuff. I can do time lapses, all of it. I can tell the sound of a Mustang. That's absolutely right. You know it. A Dairy Queen does burgers. Yeah, they do. And Thomas's makes bagels, people. Understand it. I'm paying for it. I'm too lazy to go get it myself. There you go. That's how you do it. You've heard of Tom McDonald's and John Ritchie's new single, End of the World? I have. Wow, that's crazy. I was actually listening to Tom McDonald this morning. I was showing my wife that gloriously cheesy love song Ghost, which, I'm sorry, I'm one of those, and she was laughing at me. And I told her this joke. I go, every woman when she hears a man say, "I've written a song for you," has to think, "Oh shit, what is this gonna be? What is this gonna be?" It's you never know, you know. It's the same thing as a man saying, "I've gotten you a surprise." You know, you're like, "Oh, for heaven's sake, what is this gonna be? God help us all." Yeah, always makes me laugh, but it's cute. They're a cute couple, and it's good to see them happy. And yeah, I heard that song. It's he's moving up the charts. I mean, he's another person who defines, you know, going back to a little bit of what we were talking about at the start of this, he's another person who defines being an individual. I respect the hell out of that, man. I mean, that guy is a true, according to Hoyle, independent, and it gives him the freedom to do what he does well. Is everybody going to, you know, be cut out for independence? I don't know. But if you are, you're going to give up so much, you know, by trying to submit to whatever the music industry or anybody else says. The same thing goes. Don't crawl out of one, you know, collectivist group to get into another. Just don't do it. And I made that sacrifice once of leaving one, so I'm not going to put myself in that situation ever. It's not going to happen. Yeah, love that song. Yeah, it's a great song. It really is. And they're doing some great stuff. Some just do ice cream stuff. Some do both. That's right. You'll always be my boo. There you go. Tamier knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, when that line came on, my wife just died. She was like, "Oh, for the love of God." But, you know, it happens. It happens. You know? Everyone's got one in them. Anyone ever had a bison burger? I have not. I've heard about them. He had 4 million views the first day. That's what he built, man. This is the thing. You guys know this, right? There were people who were into him and listening to his music at the very, very start, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, man," you know. And it feels like that's a great example of a fan base, and a real fan base in a group that people sort of feel like, "Hey, man, like, I like this guy's music. I've gotten to know him," and you have to be real to build that. Like, that's the crazy thing. If I was trying to be cynical and negative, I don't think this channel would work. I don't think this book would work. Because people would know I was faking it. And everything he does is very real and very him. Yeah, I like Tom McDonald around here. Yeah, I love Tom McDonald. His stuff is great. And I really enjoy his stuff. It's better than the woman asking, "What did you do now?" Yeah, that happens too, Charlie Stevenson. Sometimes the kitsch cheese is just necessary. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you gotta lead with your heart sometimes, particularly when you're doing that. I mean, this book has got those kinds of moments. It's got some horror, it's got some scary stuff, but it's very much like that, where I try to get, you know, every flavor in there. And yeah, there's some hokey, sweet, cute stuff that happens in this book. That's the way it is. That's how I'm built, you know? And you gotta have those moments in your life or it's not fun. You have to be dopey, you have to be excited. I like when I see somebody who is so happy and so enthusiastic that they can't contain it and they feel embarrassed being that excited. That is my favorite thing. I love it, man. I love it. I love seeing people get excited. It's a cool thing, you know. It's like whenever I'm like hanging out with people and we just start cracking up. It's infectious. You can feel it. You can absolutely feel it. Let me see here. He's one of the few rappers I'll listen to regularly. Otherwise, is just view rap as where music goes to die. Well, I think it's so many genres, right, have become that. I was listening to... Shoot, I didn't click on the right one. I was listening to him today as a matter of fact. Dummies is my favorite. Yeah, it's a good one. I like Fake Woke. It's a good one. Snowflakes is great. I know those were ones that were in heavy rotation, but I love them both. And then there was another one I really liked too. Oh, Dear Slim was good. I thought that was a great one too. My dog just got the zoomies. Oh yeah, that's the joy. Overexcitement. You mean really? That's right. That's right. Well, you know what's sort of funny about that too, right? Is I would throw out that I love everybody's excitement. I love everybody's excitement. But one of my favorite bits of excitement I've seen was John Malin when he got the Dale Keown cover. You know what I mean? People who don't show excitement easily, when they're excited, it's fantastic. You know, it's great to see. Everybody's got those people that, and you know who I'm talking about, right? Everybody's got those people who the smile is hard fought. Like when I can make Jericho laugh, it always gets me. Making me laugh, I know people enjoy when I laugh, but it's like, it's not the hardest sell. You know, it's not, right? But yeah, overexcitement. Yeah, right. It's a good thing. America is best is the best from Tom. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. He's not a cynical or nihilistic person. He's got a sense of humor, and he can be real. He can be thoughtful. He can be sweet. He can, do a music video with his parents in it. He can do any number of things. But at the end of the day, he's real. Recognizes real, man. It's what it comes down to. And you can't have anybody verify you as real. You have to kind of keep that. You have to know who you are, and you have to keep that in your back pocket and just grind away on these things. Because I think that another great myth is that what somebody says about you and what people believe about you fundamentally changes who you are. You can absolutely get just bowled over by negativity and all of that kind of stuff, but it is not something you have to relinquish. People are going to say negative stuff. He's probably had no shortage of that, and you can respond to that stuff, but don't let it drive you. Don't let it dominate you. Don't try to one of my favorite things I heard Jordan Peterson say, I think about it all the time, is don't ever apologize if you've done nothing wrong. That's a really good bit of advice. I think a lot of people would benefit from remembering that don't apologize if you haven't done anything wrong. It's crazy. Don't apologize for another group of people. That's another one. This is all the stuff that how do I put this? It's why building it's like building yourself or building an identity based on what you're against never works, because it's you're not starting with yourself. You're not starting with who you are as a person, and for me, I don't feel the need to define myself by things that I'm not. It's not my bag. What other people think I am, or what other people say, or whatever. And again, I like that Southernism. You wouldn't worry about what people thought of you if you realized how seldom they did, is one of the all-time great Southernisms. Most people aren't thinking about it, so don't worry. I cannot stand when people are fake and have the handshake. I used to teach my students how to shake hands because it drove me nuts. Got to run an errand real quick. I'll be back. All right, Hostman, take care, and be careful out there on the roads, especially if you're in Massachusetts. Exactly, indeed. Real reminds me of Autistic Asperger's. Elon Musk catching the BBC reporter line. That was beautiful. Yep. Yeah. It's the craziest thing, but when you run into somebody who is not being a character, who's also quick on their feet, they don't have to take a beat to try to remember who the hell they are before they answer questions. You know what I mean? They just don't. It's crazy. It's like you have to. It's really strange. And I will tell you this. Here's a funny thing about me, positivity wise, and do with this what you will. I tend to find and enjoy. I like enthusiasm, but sometimes when I'm watching things, too much enthusiasm makes me stressed out. Don't ask me why. That's on me. That's not on anybody else. And so sometimes I watch things like, again, I talk about it all the time. I'll watch things like Townsend's and stuff like that. I enjoy watching very chill stuff for some reason. And obviously, look at what I'm doing right now. But I love stuff when it's relaxed sometimes. I don't know what the hell that's about. But that's what I like about my wife. She's not she's not that intense all the time. She's strategically intense, which is a cool thing. There we go. Yeah, I really needed that to have that feel. Too much enthusiasm. Okay, Shanth, I'll tone it down. John, never worry. You don't have to tone anything down here. That's my bear to cross, as Adam Hughes used to say. It's he used to really make me laugh with that. I don't know why that just cracks me up so much. But here you go. All right. Yeah, and it's like, I loved when I was one of the Lovecraft stories, H.P. Lovecraft stories. I love that kind of influenced this book, and certainly influenced the character of Drake Thulu, was the Dunwich Horror. It's one of my favorites. I don't know if it's I don't know if I could ever say one of them is my favorite book, but the Dunwich Horror is definitely up there. It's definitely in my top 3. And the description of Wilbur Whateley, dissolving after he dies is just creepy, man. And I loved that idea. I thought it was really great. What's up, Skunk Artworks and Artist Brother in the house? It is great to see you, my friend. I loved when people freaked out about Elon smoking with Joe Rogan. Yeah, I loved what Elon said about sensory deprivation tanks. You know, when he said, I don't know about that because my brain needs resistance. If it could run freely, what if it doesn't stop? And he was just giving you a glimpse and an insight into how he thinks and like what makes him feel better. And I love Joe Rogan, and I think Joe was able to have a very real conversation with him. But he was saying, you know what I think you'd love is a sensory deprivation tank. And like a smart person would, Elon Musk paused for a bit and he said, no, I don't think I'd enjoy that. I think that'd be terrifying for me. Because he knows who he is. He actually considered it too. You know, but he's like, maybe I'll try that. You can't get better than that. You know, is somebody saying, hey, take a minute. Sometimes it's hard because, especially if you're conditioned to respond all the time. And people sometimes think, you know, if you're thinking about it, what do you really think? But sometimes you got to take a moment to think because you need to take a moment to think. It's not, you know, indecision to have a, you know, considered thought come out of your mouth. God forbid I ever do that. Let's see here. Yes, I keep meaning to read his stuff. Yeah, his stuff is creepy. Yeah, absolutely great. Yes, indeed. Hail Skunk Artworks. A while. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Have not seen you in a while. Yes, to Skunk Artworks. Yeah, I've seen Skunk Artworks a couple of times. Thanks for coming into this chat, man. But you're right. I mean, it's always great. Like I said on the last stream, when I don't see Stephen Rockwood, I'm like, what is going on? Where is Stephen Rockwood? Not because Stephen Rockwood has any obligation to report for duty, let me be clear. But because I love seeing Stephen Rockwood in the stream. That's how it is with you guys, man. You know, it's like I see you guys come in and it puts me in a good mood. It's great. You know, I'm in a good mood, it puts me in a better mood. And if I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, I better get positive. Because I've got some great people waiting to see me. But, you know, it's a funny thing, you know, it's man, there is no rhyme or reason to a lot of the stuff that we do here. There's a reason to why I paint, there's a reason to why I work, but I started streaming when nobody was watching, and I think if I had thought it would go where it has gone, with super chats and with channel memberships, I would never have had the sense of like, how am I even going to get there? Do you know what I mean? Is the Dunwich Horror the one where the big brother? Yes, the brother building a house of his eldritch brother. Yes, it is the twins. Yeah, ooh, yeah. Welcome to Section 9, where anything goes as far as the comic books are concerned. Yes, indeed, it's absolutely true. I love that stuff. Stephen Rockwood demands the boobs and the blood. Yes, he does, and that's why we give them to him. Indeed. Let's see here. We have got, oh my goodness gracious, look at who we've got in the chat here. We've got Leg Kick 1, hail to you. How's the book coming, bud? It is, if you look at the thumbnail, I cropped the picture because it was a vertical picture. Those are all the pages of the book laid out on my sofa. It's so great. So yeah, I'm just putting in some detail and adjusting a couple of things, and I wanted to rework a figure here and there, but it's coming great. Titties, says Stephen Rockwood. It is great to see you. It's coming along great. Actually, hang on a second. I wonder if I don't know if this is going to work, and I don't want to show too much, but let me turn the brightness down on my phone. And, alright, so if you don't, you're not going to get spoilers out of this, because my phone is small by comparison. But, oh, hold on, I got to turn the brightness up. It did it automatically. There you go. This right here is the entire book laid out. That's how the book is going. I sent this to a bunch of friends in green room, or in some of the green rooms, or the Comicsgate Live green room, and some of my buddies from CG Team in that green room, and I was like, this, and a couple of my buddies on the West Coast, and I was like, this is where the book is, guys. It is. There it is. Hey, what's up, Simply Green? It's great to see you, and I have to say hello to It's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and being a channel member. Your name is still in the credits. Don't you ever worry about that. I'll take a while to update that, but I appreciate the support you gave this channel, and continue to give by showing up, my friend. It's great. Thank you for being here. And let me see who else I've got. I've got Simply Green, Leg Kick 1, yeah. And it's funny too, because I think I first met Courtney on a Bancroft stream. I think you came onto that stream and you brought the positivity. I remember it, man. Yeah, morning to you, Simply Green. Morning to you, my friend. And this is the stuff that kind of gets me, which is, when I was reading the Dunwich Horror, and I'm not a great reader. You guys know this. I was doing everything like I used to struggle to picture things and how they were being told. And when I read the Dunwich Horror, it put these images. He is so good at painting images within your head, man. It is great. Oh, Courtney, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for backing the book. Guys, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. Whoa, that's awesome. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you right now, I know it's like, it's silly and it's whatever, and I posted it in the channel members section, and I think I've said it here a little bit, but it was a very overwhelming experience, and I had been working. I don't think I'd slept for a while. Like, I went to bed at 5 in the morning this morning, woke up at 10, but I hadn't slept in a while, and so I took a shower. I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's get to work. And I just think it's like when you've been running a marathon or doing something of this magnitude for a really long time, and you get to the end, you suddenly realized how much stress you've been carrying, and it just hit me all at once, man. It was just like, oh man. And I just, but just doing something silly and light, and my back just went, and I went, oh man, not fun at all. But yeah, to see the book laid out like that was probably, I would say this, it's got to be maybe the top. It might very well be the top moments in my life as an artist. Seeing that, guys, I don't know. One day I'll have to talk about it, but there has been a lot to overcome getting to this point with the book. I can't even. I mean, this stuff predates my YouTubing, predates Comicsgate, predates all of that. With the release of my first 2 art books as Shanth Enjeti Art, building that Instagram following and all of that stuff, and starting in my youth with these aspirations. It's been about 33 years since I self-published my first comic book at 14. I self-published my second one at 16. Did my first professional job for a small indie when I was 17, and then the industry crashed. I went off to college. I learned a lot of things that are not very conducive to be honest, with having a successful career. Been more about status and the right kind of people liking your stuff, and I kind of had to, then I worked as an academic, and that affects that too, and I just need to step away, and this goes to the individual thing, you know what I mean? No, Courtney, sorry, I just saw this. Courtney. Whatever works for you. If you want to do it, but let me tell you, I'm always happy to see you. Let me just be really clear about that. Yes, I know. Please, absolutely. Yes. Courtney, never worry about that. Never worry about that. Okay? I feel terrible. It's great to see you. Period. End of in any way. Yeah, Tammy's getting the deets on the car there. There it is, Much love, Courtney. You know that. My God. Yes. Dropping the backpack of stress and watching an entire Earth violently quake as the backpack slams on the ground. That is absolutely what it was, guys. And I've only had it happen to me another time, and this is the empathy thing, right? There was a friend of ours' son was in a really, really bad place, and I found myself in the situation of having to talk him out of that bad place. And it really, when I look back on it, I say this with love. It was a lot to be thrown into and take on to try to help this person. And the next day I was so stressed out because it was such an intense situation and I felt so much pressure from it. Man, that was the first time my back popped. I was like, oh man, because I was carrying all that tension. And it's the same thing with this book, guys. The weight of expectations, the weight of wanting to make it the best thing I could possibly make it. That's what Shanth Enjeti Art is. That's what this whole venture was about, is building something, taking risks under my own name and being positive. And man, I felt it. And I was like, it was both a relief, but also I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying over, is this going to come together? Is this going to work? That's how everybody is, I mean, it's like when you do this, it's crazy. Oh, I'm in Germany, Central European time. Yeah, I've only been to the Frankfurt airport, and then we got out in Frankfurt to do laundry once when I was flying to India. Great place. I appreciate you being here. Vielen Dank. You guys are the best. Let's see here. I'm staying here at John. I have to find a place by June 23rd. June 23rd is one of my favorite dates. Can anybody tell me why June 23rd is one of my... I think it's June 23rd. Now watch me be wrong. Can anybody tell me why June 23rd is one of my favorite dates? I'll see if anybody can get this. Watch me be wrong, and then people go, I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyone in the chat, see if you can tell me what June 23rd is. For me, as a special date. And if you can't, that is perfectly fine.
If they get it and I don't, does that mean we're divorced?
Yes, if they my wife goes, if they get it and I don't, does that mean we're divorced? Yes, we're getting divorced if you don't get it. Let's see here. Not going back east yet. Let's see. India, why might you ever want to go to India? I don't know. Is it an anniversary? Yeah, it's an anniversary of something, but it's not a personal anniversary. It's not our anniversary. But good guesses, Timmy Mello and Tammy. Twins born? Nope, it's not the birth of my kids. Although that's another great anniversary. It's the date a movie came out. Now I'm going to tell you that one. It's the date one of my favorite movies came out. How's that? And it was on the teaser poster. And I remember seeing that and going, oh, let's see here. You came out of the closet? Yeah, but I've done that a bunch of times, like Kick One. I've done that a bunch of times. I'm in and out, just like the burger place. The start of your book? No. I know, actually, I looked up that date the other day, like when, this was before the campaign, when I first started doing book. Ghostbusters? No. Star Wars? No. You guys are getting there. You guys are zeroing in on movies. All right, let's see if anybody gets it. Okay, gotta go. All right, Stephen Rockwood, you take care. Have a great day, brother. And I'm going to say it before he goes. Batman 1989 came out on June 23rd. Five Guys, Shanth and Fries. You know it. You know it. Absolutely. Yeah, see you, Stephen Rockwood. Much love, brother. Thank you for being here. It's always great to see you, man. Batman, that's right. The Batman movie poster says June 23rd on it. Right on the teaser poster. You guys got it. Yeah, that's it. I was about to say Batman, says Timmy Mello. I know you know, brother. It's like, for everybody of that time, you remember, here's something fun to do if you need a positivity boost. I like to go back on YouTube sometimes and watch old news stories of things that were exciting. So I love watching the old news stories in big hair surrounding the summer of Batman and Batmania in '89, only rivaled by the '60s Batmania. And I love that movie. I've often said it's Anton Furst's design work on that movie were a big influence on the look of Nosfero. And I've got next to me when I work, I've got a Batman 1989 figure where I can get at it. And love that flick. It's actually, I'm going to hurt my back leaning over and doing this stuff because I'm a moron, but that's the way it is. I've got it right next to my Wesley Snipes Blade figure by the same company. Love this stuff, man. Love it. Do you collect McFarlane Superpower figures? I don't, but man, I'm telling you what, if it wasn't for my need to collect brushes, I'd be all over that. Because I loved the Superpowers Superman figure. Oh, is Bancroft here? Hey, Michael, how are you doing? Camel would have known that. He totally... If Camel didn't know that, Michael, we have to revoke his Batman card. Period. End of story. End of story. Yeah, it's got to happen. But yes, yes, I do remember the Superpower figures. My favorite figure was the Superpowers Superman figure, and maybe it was a re-release because it wasn't the one where you put the legs together and he punches. I love that Superman, but there was a Superman figure they came out with after that had a magnet in his chest and had a kryptonite ring with a same magnet, and you pushed it together and it knocked him over. I loved that, man. I'm going to have to bounce in 3 minutes. Understood, Tammy A. Thank you for being here. Dark Knight is my favorite Batman movie. I watch it 10 times, and I love the rewatch value of movies I love. McFarlane will be doing a retro Batman movie line. I cannot wait for that. See you, Tammy A. Be safe out there. Absolutely. And Timmy Mello, thank you for always bringing the positivity, man. Yeah, The Dark Knight is absolutely a great Batman movie. I love all of those movies, and they're fantastic. But there's the production design on the original Batman movie will just always have a special place in my heart, man. You know, it's like everybody, I laugh when I hear people talk about, it's like, what the nerd community was like. If you want to know what the nerd and comic community was like, go watch those vintage documentaries about the release of that movie. We were always a cool group of, and to borrow Courtney's fantastic expression, we were always an amazing, cool collection and fellowship of oddballs. It was always great. And we never let any of these silly little arbitrary things that people can't change about themselves get in the way of making a new friend in the comic space. And I love those times. 100% Love those times. And I like to watch those every now and again. The lines of the Image Comics guys, all of that stuff. The lines of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fans. Like, guys, it's never been what they try to tell us. So, like, again, be an individual. Don't let them tell you what things are like for you just because you're in a group. That ain't my bag, you know? Yeah, absolutely. Take care, Tammy. Much love. It's great to see you, and take care of yourself, all right? Yeah, absolutely right. Yep, let me see here. Yeah, the new Batman animated movie, The Doom that came to Gotham, was pretty good. Nice, based on Mike Mignola's comic. Very cool. Yeah, he does some great stuff, man. He does some great stuff. Was that Gotham by Gaslight? Yes, absolutely. Take care, Tammy. Old commercials, wall-to-wall, mini tunes. Yeah, and I just remember what it was like, you know, to wait for commercials, to wait for these things to come out. I mean, I remember when they announced the Batman movie in Comic Scene magazine, and Michael Keaton had been cast. No one had seen the costume yet, and fans were complaining, and you know, everybody was pissed because, you know, it happens. That's what happens. And then when the trailer came out, and everybody was like, "This looks awesome!" Like, that's the crazy thing, you know, when you watch that. When Tim Burton was hired as the director, and he hired Beetlejuice to be Batman, all of the negativity in the world, all of the stuff that was raining down on them about this movie's gonna suck, it didn't stop him from making a great movie. You can actually make something great and do a great job on something and change the way people see it. You're not trapped by random people's perceptions of you if you don't let yourself be. You know? There's the sirens coming to arrest me again. But, you know, you don't have to be trapped in that. So many people, like, you can be. You absolutely can be. But if you had told people back then that Michael Keaton, like Christian Bale playing Batman, that's a pretty easy sell. It's an easier sell. Because a lot of people didn't know who Christian Bale was on any big level at that point. And they were like, you know, I don't know how this is going to work. I think Heath Ledger caught more stuff being cast as the Joker. People like, is Heath Ledger going to be able to pull this off? He's a pretty boy. You know, look at him go. Did an outstanding job. Shanth Enjeti art note for later. Let me see this. Shanth, poke around YouTube Dr. Rowe and see if there's anything which gives you some relief. Oh, yes, I will. And I also want to go see a chiropractor. I need to do that at some point. I miss being excited based on trailers. Yeah. Apparently putting a Beastie Boys track on it doesn't save it. Right? We've all learned that. Man, that's awesome. Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. Did your friend ever tell you how it was working on the set? Oh, very cool. Commercials used to be awesome and memorable. I'll never forget. This is your brain on drugs. You're absolutely right. And where's the beef? Just examples. I loved Where's the Beef. I still say that. It's great. You know, let me see here. What else is there? I feel like sometimes I'm missing comments in here. I don't know what is going on. But you never know. You never know. There you go. Oh, I bought, let's see here. I bought Ace Combat 5 based on a trailer alone. There it is. It's gorgeous. And thank you, Simply Green. I haven't spoken to him in ages. We're friends on Facebook. I can ask. There you go. Wow, who are we talking about? I totally feel like I missed this. I missed a whole conversation. Oh, here, Mighty Magic, my friends from when I lived, let's see here. Mighty Magic, my friend from when I lived in Boston. Oh, Heath Ledger's makeup for the movie. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, he did a dynamite job in that role. Where's the beef? Sadly, might be America's future motto. Yeah, it's true. Well, not if we can stop it, right, John? I think our future motto should be, here's the beef. That's what it's about, right? That is what it's about. Here's the beef. And here is the art, right? And so if you're a fan of Batman 1989, if you're a fan of Lovecraft, if you're a fan of action and horror and magic and kind of sword and sorcery, but also very much, pulp comic books. That's what this stuff is rooted in. You're going to love this. I mean, it's kind of a funny thing, but I think that as much as any artist influenced my work, the movie Batman 1989 had a huge influence on my art. Huge. And I look at, I watched that movie and I remember what I thought comics could be. And this is before I knew how to paint. And now that I can paint, I'm just like, oh, I can make those matte paintings happen. I can build out the world. I can get that. Do you remember that kind of, that sense of everything was kind of rainy because it was, filmed overseas. It was filmed in England. And the rocks were kind of all dripping. The stonework was dripping. That's huge for me. What's up, Brian Chriskow? How are you doing, man? What's up? It's great to see you. I pray so, Shanth. I pray so. Well, hey, listen, John. From your lips to God's ears, right? That's how we do it. Yeah, where's the bugs? Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah, indeed. I bought the game because it had an awesome soundtrack to the trailer. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing, right? When we're looking at this kind of stuff, I'll show you exactly what I mean, right? I'm going to do a little bit of that work here on this page. And this was not planned, and I might regret it, but probably not, knowing me. I want to show you guys what I mean. So if I go in and I darken a stone like that and work into it, I'm going to do this on a couple of these stones. Let me see. Let me zoom in. I'm going to actually do the optical zoom on this thing and see if it works, because I want to... There we go. I'm going to do an optical zoom on this. If I go in and I start to darken some of these stones up right here, the fun effect, and they did this in Hammer horror movies, and I know those were a huge influence on Tim Burton and on the Batman movie, but when I go in and I just hit a couple of dark areas on there, like this, and I've done this on a couple of pages because it's one of my favorite things to do with stonework, I can go in and I can kind of put that darker sort of edge on it, and then I start to work in some highlights where the stones are put in like that. I can also go in the inside of it and just put a couple of little lighter flecks in there inside of that darker space and start to give a little bit of a sense of there being moisture happening in there. Just a little bit. And you put that stuff in there and it just starts to create that immaculate reality that they did so well with Batman 1989, and you see that with Star Wars. You can start to really put just a little bit of that magic, from those movies in there. And when you zoom out, and you guys know, you start to feel, do you guys see what I mean? The difference on those stones? Yes, indeed. Rest in peace, Prince. That was an awesome album. I always love Scandalous. I listen to that all the time. It's a great song. Yo, everybody's saying, except no Prince soundtrack. Yes, indeed. I wish. I really miss the matte paintings in movies. Yeah, those were beautiful. Yeah, no regrets indeed. No regrets indeed. Yeah, rest in peace, Prince. Did Shanth just say moist? Yeah, moist. I remember when that became a massive thing. God, that was all over the place, man. We couldn't let moist go, man. We just couldn't. It was what it was. But yeah, I love stuff like that. I love being able to... I love the old school matte paintings. People like Peter Ellenshaw, who worked on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He also did the matte paintings for Mary Poppins, which was just... those were incredible. They look like impressionistic paintings, French Impressionism. And that stuff was just amazing. But a lot of matte painters influenced my work. Anton Furst's work and design work on 1989 is like... I wish they would release all of the art and a brand new making of for Batman 1989, because the photography quality and the print quality of those older books just does not match what we can do now. That would, man, you talk about a book that would fly off the shelves. That would fly off the shelves. 100% fly off the shelves. There we go. Let's get a little bit of water in there on these bricks. Or these stones, I should say. There we go. It's coming together. Let's see here. Sands of Time and Warrior Within, yes. I didn't take into account Shanth's dyslexia when commenting no regrets. Yeah, you never do. You never do. Which one? Yes, that's true. Let's see. I used to like Sunday comics, like Prince Valiant, Dick Tracy, yep, and Steve Canyon. After the decline of newspapers, a genre of comic art was lost. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Sans yes, Warrior no started with the original back in on the Master System. Wow, there you go. Yeah, man. It's like it's funny how much our love and passion for all these different hobbies and interests goes. It's a pretty crazy thing, but I love it, man. I love doing all. I love lamp, but I love I love doing all this kind of stuff because you get to make these sort of fun, playful, symphonic kind of notes happen in your work, and you can sort of mess with color and mess with the way that different things work. And a small area on a painting sometimes you can do these like little flourishes that, you know, the people who are going to spend time looking at this work are going to notice. You know, they're going to have a fun time with it. And, you know, you just zoom out in those stones, and that stonework has just a slightly different quality than it had before. It's just a little bit less two-dimensional. And I think it's the same thing with computer coloring. Hey, what's up, Phil? It's good to see you, man. Welcome back. Yeah, I love Lamp. I still love that, Courtney. That just cracks me up. What's up, SDA? It's great to see you, SDA. How are you doing, man? It's great to see you. Hi to you, brother. Let me see here. Larry, I liked Larry Lieber's Spider-Man with John Romita. Yeah, that's some good stuff, man. And written by Stan Lee in the newspaper. Yeah, that was some good stuff, man. I remember copying those when I was a kid. Loved that stuff. Yeah, it's great to see you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting that like, man. It's like you guys are crushing it today. It's frustrating with the algorithm, but again, like I said, it's not going to change what I do. I'm going to keep moving forward. You know, going to keep moving forward. I can probably find a copy of Liefeld's unreleased Youngblood demos floating around. Holy cow, that's awesome. Doing good. Glad to hear it. Yo, Phil Diaz. Hey, SDA. Ah, to all. Yes, indeed. You got to say it, man. You got to say hello. Let me see here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Lots of waves, lots of love in here. That's how it goes. That is how it goes. That is what we do here. Having fun. Painting, making art. Making art, as we say in New England. There we go. Just have a little bit of those moments, right? There's this in Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell by Hammer Horror Productions. There's great scenes in the sanatorium where they show the stonework of that set, and it is so great. I mean, there's the water dripping down the walls, and of course Madeline Smith, who is one of the many influences on the look of Laurel. I love that stuff. I love that kind of stonework. And I just want to, you know, I want to put in a couple of details in here, and because you can, with painting, you can kind of leave things more open sometimes, but for me and what I'm doing, that this is your introduction to this character, and I'm introducing you to a world. I think you can get more impressionistic in your work when you're painting somebody like, you know, Batman or something like that, because people know what it is. They know what it looks like, and they can fill in the blanks. But with Nosfero, there's a need to describe the world a little bit, and paint can be ideal for that. You know, it can be ideal. Yeah, Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell definitely has the best monster design in the series. I think so. I love that monster. It's great. Like a Hulk, practically. Yes, don't forget to back the Buckler. I'll make sure I clicked on the right one. Folks, fundmycomic.com campaign. Go check it out by Brian Kriskow. There you go, guys. There you go. And Micra is here. Micra, it's great to see you. How are you doing? I haven't caught one of these live in ages. Always streaming at weird times for me. I know I'm always streaming at weird times, guys. My apologies and much love. Okay, I have to run for an appointment. You take care, Courtney. Much love to everybody, and wonderful and groovy rest of your day. You too, Courtney. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate seeing you. So thank you for being here. Hey, what's up? It's great to see you, Micra. Yeah, everybody's hanging out. Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. If you like gothic kind of horror and just really fun, crazy, you know, Hammer crazy goodness, that movie is definitely a flourish. And I know Vaughn and I did an episode of our show on that, which was just a blast, man. I think I was mentioning to people before, I'm pretty much exclusively on Ecamm, which means having guests on and all of that stuff is not really easy anymore. You can have people on, but they can't see, and it's because so many of you guys have been, well, one, it's expensive for me to do what I do on StreamYard. You know, you have to get rid of all of the things if you cut your plan down, and it's just $50 I cannot spend a month. It's like craziness. There we go. Especially with me spending money on Ecamm, but there you guys go. There's a look at some of this stuff, and when we zoom out, I mean, you guys know I showed this before, but for anybody who's late coming in, no spoilers on this because it's so small. This is the entire book of Nosfero laid out on my sofa. So for people wondering about the book, and which, you know, I do these streams pretty regularly. I haven't posted this yet because if you were to look really closely, you might see some spoilers in this image. But I did share it with a bunch of people, and it's getting there, man. Shanth, have you gotten the Mego, damn, I can't read. Mego Hammer Horror 8-inch figures? They're pretty sweet. So, Brian, you'll appreciate this. My good friend Michael over on the YouTube channel The Choice Voice has a gratitude stream because a lot of people were sending him stuff. He actually was under the weather, which I didn't know. And I sent him because he introduced me to Hammer Horror films, And he's a huge Peter Cushing fan, so I sent him the Van Helsing Peter Cushing Mego figure, and it just, his face was great. It brightened his day, man. I love Hammer Horror, and if it wasn't for Michael, the choice voice, shout out to Michael. If you're catching this later, brother, much love. But he introduced me to that stuff. Love that guy. Yeah, the choice Tesla. Yeah, right. When they hacked his channel. Original Prince of Persia was one of my earliest rotoscoped games. Karateka, yes, I remember that. May have been the first. I loved Karateka. I used to play that all the time when the bird would attack. But yeah, I love that stuff, man. I love that stuff. Yeah, Michael, I mean, that's what's so cool about it. People will introduce you. Again, another thing. Here's some YouTube channels that have really brightened my day on many occasions. The Choice Voice with Michael. He was great. I first stumbled upon his stuff because he had one of the best videos on the Star Wars sequel trilogy and its insanity. But then outside of that, he did all this stuff on Hammer Horror. And sometimes you can hear about things a million times, but you get the right introduction from somebody. And he just introduced me to Hammer Horror in a way to where I was like, I fell in love with it, and it's so responsible for what Nosfero became. You know, it really is responsible for the direction I went in with. My love of horror finally found that perfect mix between horror and kitsch and pulp in those movies. You know, because I like, there's something about the lower budget approach to that stuff, and it's not about lack of quality, but Tim Burton did it with Sleepy Hollow, his homage to Hammer Horror, and I love it. Brides of Dracula, all of that stuff is great. You know, it's so great. And that was Disney's influence after they developed the technique. There you go. Shanth, art-ish question. Was it frustrating when the water paint would fade after drying? Oh, you mean the color shift? Not really. Not really. Because I got so used to it, I never thought about it. It's hard to describe because when you don't know anything else, you don't notice it. So one of my favorite stories is with regards to my crooked left arm here. I don't know if you guys can see that. See if I can make that rotate it in a way to where you can see it. Oh, there you go. You can see it there. But is it? I went to go see a physical therapist about it, and the physical therapist was funny. They go, "Do you have any trouble like with daily tasks and stuff like that?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm good. Not that I'm aware of." And she's like, "All right, I need to look at your shoulder. Take off your shirt." And after about like 5 or 6 minutes, she goes, "Has trouble taking off shirt." And I went, "Oh, I guess that is a daily task I'm not great at." So yeah, I mean, and with me, with gouache, I didn't know anything else. And so like when it would color shift, I just got used to it. So I could kind of like see it in my head, but it's craziness. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it is frustrating. Acrylics certainly, they have a much more subtle color shift. What I love about, Brian Kriskow says, what I love about the Hammer Horror movies is they were low budget, but they look lavish. You're absolutely right. Much like Pulp, which is a similar kind of vibe, they're, in the best sense, they're lurid. You know? They're like overly vibrant. Most importantly, no matter how crazy and absurd the events are, the actors always play it totally straight, which is why they delivered so well in Star Wars, man. That is why they did such a great job with Star Wars. You know, you bring Cushing in, you bring Christopher Lee in, decades apart, and they know how to deliver that dialogue and sell it to you. And let alone in Lord of the Rings with Christopher Lee, man. God rest him. Incredible actor. Incredible actor. Yeah, I love that stuff. You know, and it's been really cool. Like I said, I mean, I went on YouTube. I was like, oh wow, you know, this guy's cool. I like the stuff he's doing. You know, the choice voice, and then I was like, what's this other thing he's into? And funny enough, it's the same thing with a really big YouTube channel that I enjoy watching, which is the Grim Life Collective. They follow their passions. They've built a hell of a great channel, and I love the way they talk about horror and you know, the grim. You know, it's great stuff. They were in Salem, Mass, out on my coast not long ago, and it was kind of funny to see them walking around places I know all too well, and places I've been with my family. It's cool. Love that stuff. Absolutely love that stuff. There we go. Now we're getting there. But so that's just a quick example, and it's still drawing, but that's a quick example of how you can just add a little bit of dimension there with that stonework. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Garish is you're absolutely right, man. You know? Yeah, absolutely. Big budget movies are nice, but I'm impressed by low budget, which I feel is just as immersive. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Garish, did I leave my cam on again? Yeah. And this is it too, right? It's like when I use color, and someone who really influenced my color work is Basil Gogos. Basil Gogos just goes crazy. Hello, Shanth. I've been watching your streams while I work on my commissions. Excellent. These last 3 weeks. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Thanks for your effort and content, man. The pages are looking beautiful. Thank you, Blue Boy. I really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, if they can, these streams can bring any bit of joy, you know, to people and make their workday easier or give them something to watch at the end of the evening. That's what I love about it. That's the highest compliment. So thank you so much for that, Blue Boy. I really do appreciate it. And hail to you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Gogos was a beast. Yeah, Gogos is great. I saw in the Kirk Hammett collection when it was in Salem, Mass, interestingly enough, at the Peabody Essex Museum, as we say in New England. I got to see some Basil Gogos originals. That I have a video showing my trip to that museum on this channel somewhere, and some Frazetta originals that Kirk Hammett owns. So it was great to see Frazetta and Basil Gogos together on a wall. You want to talk about a fun day at the museum? That was definitely one of them. Really great stuff. And actually, I saw my first Frazetta acrylic, which I wasn't aware that he worked in acrylic that much, which I probably didn't, but it was a horror painting of the werewolf versus Dracula. The Wolfman versus Dracula, I think it was. I think that's the one it was. Or was it? No, yeah, it was. It was Wolfman versus Dracula, I think. And it was acrylic. I had no idea. Just great stuff. Love his work. There we go. Yeah, now we're getting some of those crazy Go-Go's colors in there. What is up, Fat Samurai? How are you doing? Looks amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Cannot wait. Yeah, guys, I know. I've shown this a few times. I'm going to keep doing it because it's fun. And because I've been working my butt off on this thing for ages. This right here is the entire book laid out on my sofa. There it is. That's it. The whole dang thing. And, you know, it doesn't sound, to me, I was thinking about this, like, I remember when I did my first comic job, and, you know, comics are 22 pages typically. And I thought, you know, what's another 12 pages on top of that? But when you think about just masses of artwork, it's a massive amount of artwork, you know, and it's physical because it's not digitally done. So when you lay it out, you go, wow, this covers a lot of space. Like I was stacking them up. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. Kirk Hammett's owning so much work is a mind warp for me. Yes, he does. He owns so much artwork. He loves horror, man. He's a huge, huge fan of it. And, boy, when you see his poster collection, these rare posters, that's why it was so sad when Funko shut down Mondo Posters, because they had really had some great artists working there, but that is why, again, you got to stay independent. I mean, the whole start of this stream was about, you know, just making sure, you know, or just talking about the importance of not becoming, you know, part of a group or being, you know, collectivist. And the reason why I think that is so important is because it steals a lot of the joy of being an individual. I like that you guys come in here and you guys are individuals. You know, you do what you do. And it's like, yeah, we obviously have similar interests. That is the nature of how things go. But, you know, when I go onto the Grim Life Collective channel or anything else, there's people who have interests that, you know, and who are from all over the world watching something like that. But we're all there because we have a good time watching that channel. And it's weird because, and I understand it. I don't think it's particularly nefarious, and shout out to Neff, by the way. But when you watch, when you go on YouTube and YouTube starts saying, you might also like this channel, and you're like, is that what you think that channel is? You know, it's not every horror channel that I want to watch. I like what these guys do as individuals. There's not a substitute for what they do. It's why I watch Michael Bancroft's channel. It's why when I watch Rob Arnold. It's why when I watch Eric Weathers. It's like watch Eric July or whatever. It's like I'm like watching, you know, channels or Jericho or Gabe. I mean, I could go on and on. I hate when I start lists like this. But when I watch that kind of stuff, it's not because they're all the same. You know what I mean? Horror fans have different interests, you know? The skill of the writers, set designers, cinematographers, actors, and directors can elevate lower budget productions. You're absolutely right, and that is what people don't realize. Is skill is the key for all of it, because when people are skilled and they see limitations, they panic. I mean, I could never pay an artist for how much time I put into this book. I could not present an artist for the total money spread over the amount of time on this book, and that's just the gross, to do something of this quality. And I knew that, but I also knew I was going to own it, and I also knew that there would be more stuff there, but I wanted the chance, and you guys make this possible. Every time you back the book, every time you send a super chat, every time you become a channel member, you guys all make this stuff possible. I knew that if I could just make it happen, I could then see where it led. I could see what all that stuff was about. And that's the thing. And you're right. Viva la liberté, indeed. And to be doing something that is this visually, rich, you know what I mean? To do something that is this intense and, without anybody telling me, oh, this is how it has to go. That's the real reward of doing this. And that's the real reward of being independent. We talked about Tom McDonald. We've talked about a bunch of different people. But it's who are independent creators. But it's like, if I wanted to make this book happen, I knew I was going to have to go for it. And I was going to have to make it happen on my own terms. And I will tell you, that is a huge responsibility. It's a lot of freedom, but it's also a huge responsibility. But where else am I going to get to have those sort of sweet moments between the female lead and my werewolf character? Like, how else am I going to make that stuff happen? And that's really what it comes down to for me, is making that stuff be everything that it can be, and having those little moments unfold where it's like, uh-oh, something's about to happen. There you go. And that's what storytelling is for me. It's all those great pulp moments. And I knew we could do this. I knew that comics could do this kind of thing. But you got to make it happen in order for people to see it. And I hope that this inspires a lot of people to not only, get Nosfero, but I hope it inspires people to say, hey, maybe there's more we can do here on the independent scene. Maybe independent books don't have to look, worse. Maybe they're not an alternative, again, as Eric July often says. Maybe it's not about being an alternative, but it's about actually striving to compete. And I know I can make entertainment that's more rich, more beautiful, more evocative for you guys, and that is why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Let me see here. Everybody's saying hello. Fat Samurai saying, hey, John. The skill of writers, set designers, yes, absolutely. And then Comicsgate founding father, John Malin Werewolf. You're absolutely right, man. He's got a name in there. He's got his name in here. Yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. And it's like, it's stepping out into it, man. Stepping out into it by yourself. Like, that is, or with very few other people. That's what this stuff is made of. And if you think you can, do something with a comic book, you got to go out there and do it. You got to try it. See how it works. And we're doing great stuff, guys. We're doing great stuff here, and just look at how we can just transform things with a little bit of detail. So listen, guys, we are at 2 hours, over 2 hours now, and I have got to get some food. I have not eaten today yet. It's 4:32. Oh my gosh, I got to get some food. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. And I'll be doing, be getting back to streaming, getting back to painting, as I wrap up this book, as I heal my back from the relief / tsunami of stress that comes with wrapping this book up and having all the pages together. But there's more exciting Nosfero and cool spooky stuff coming your way, guys. And I hope it's been a positive one for you. If you missed this stream and you're catching it later, catch it later, watch it back, and you can see all the fun that we're having here. And just remember, we're here to be positive and to get you guys, hopefully improve the quality of the day. Thank you, John, for being here. Thank you, Brian Christgau. Yes, indeed. Peace and love to everybody. Bow, says John. Yes, indeed. Check out the YouTube channel shop. I absolutely will. Thank you for that link. I will check that link out right after this. You're welcome, Charlie Stevenson. Thank you for being here. Bye, everybody, and take care. Yeah, it's great seeing you guys. And I'm going to play the channel member credits for all of you guys who are channel members. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. Timmy Mello, bow to you, my friend. Thank you for being here, brother. I really do appreciate it. I'm always happy seeing you in the stream, man. You guys are the best. Thank you, John. Take care, everybody. I will see you guys soon. And, as always, I say peace because that's my name. And you guys speak easy and stay gold. Take care.